have a look at the Green Ranger. So first of all, this is the pose he comes outside the box, and he is pretty much he's very light. The detail on him is absolutely amazing. It's just like I have shrunk Tommy down to size. So we have a close look at Tommy. So let's see how far we can get, about there. Okay, so first of all, everyone notices Tommy's dragon shield. Now, it looks absolutely amazingly detailed. You have the little dragon feet there, or little claws, which always remind me of Raphael's weapons from the Ninja Turtles. So you have the little dragon paws right there, and then on each of the shield you have the line detail, which is raised in the show, which you can see a lot more detail on. So we're now going to look at his helmet. Now his helmet looks to me like it's a little bit squished. I don't know why, but it just looks a little bit off. But you have the detail of his little diamond there. You can see the teeth marks just on his figures there, and you can also see the detail on his mouth. Even if, I don't know if you can see it, but when you get yours, you'll notice that there is little lines just where his mouthpiece is. That's how detailed they go. A line around the helmet at the top, and then literally you can move around, and also you can see his Adam's apple in there, so you know that he's a guy. Hello. Okay, moving his head around, it's very, very easy. So you can move around, looks like he's dazed, you can do that. Also, which will show the accessories later on, that you can actually take the helmet off and then you can put on his accessory parts. So let's have a look around at the next part. Okay, so his shield doesn't come off, but I've heard that you can snap it off. I don't particularly want to do that because I don't think, if we move his hand up, yeah, the golden parts underneath his arm won't come off and it will just look a bit weird. So if you wanted to get one of these and add it to the Tyranno Ranger later on when that comes out, unfortunately you will not be able to do that. You have to wait for the armored version. Okay, so moving down to his arms, get this back in focus. There we go. You have his armbands here. Now the only thing on it, obviously because the lines on his arms are joining, there's a line down there. The detail in his hands, I can move all around like that. So obviously you can pull them off, which we'll be taking off later. And then again you've got elbow articulation here. So I think, nope, you can't move it anymore. So literally you can move it all the way up there, do the same again and move it completely in. Nope. His underarm, I've noticed that on my friends, it's exactly the same. That piece there, if you can see it, comes out, and it looks like, I don't know if it's meant to be the ball joint or if it's part of the thing. Maybe get some more articulation. Oh, you can put it back in, but literally, so it helps pose it. So move that down. So my friend wasn't quite sure if that was just a design flaw or if that's part of it. So I really want to take a shield off for some strange reason. Okay, so moving on. On the hands, you'll notice on all of them that the little lines that are actually on the gloves on all Sentai, which is quite cool. So the only downside to this is the fact that just here, if you can see it, there's no line going around it. So you'd kind of think that they put it all around there, but I'm guessing for the ball joint, they're not really kind of bothered on that one. So moving down to the bottom part of the Ranger, so his chest. Okay, so if you noticed that just underneath his shield, you can see that there is the diamond just underneath him. So if you did take this off, you'd be able to see his diamond chest, and then literally if you look around again, you can see the detail they've gone just to jumping it in there, as well as going around to the back. On the back of him, the shield parts come down like this, so you can see exactly what is on there. Again, you have his armbands, and again, you have the diamonds here. So you can see that they all go around. Turn them over. Apart from that one there, but obviously again, that's so he can basically do that there. Okay. So, moving down to his thing. So you have the belt. Now, we'll be looking at taking the belt off, but you can see, if you can see it here, without it blurring, let's get it a little bit closer, that you actually have the dragon coin. So there's a dragon coin in there, and then again you have a little bit. Now, they won't be able to put Zoo Ranger on there, but you can tell that they've gone to detail. You can see the blackness, and you can see the dragon coin. The sheath looks absolutely amazing for this one. You know, the dragon dagger will possibly fit perfectly in there. We'll find out as soon as we move in there. But if you just want him to hold the Sword of Darkness, you can put the dragon dagger in there so you don't lose him. So we're now onto the boots. Now the legs, I've noticed with all the other Figuarts, oh yeah, you can do it with this one as well. So if you want to put him in a different pose, you can bring his leg down to some degree. I don't want to break this one. Yeah, mine is a little bit stiff on this one. So we're going to have to change memory cards, but we'll be back in a second. We just had to change memory cards. So, okay, so you can move his legs down a bit more if you want to pose him in, like, say, a kick, or if you just want him a bit bigger. I put it back in there because I don't like having them down for some strange reason. They look just absolutely fine. It looks like they've got giant legs, but you can pose him and he falls down. Okay. So literally, don't be afraid if he does fall down. His shield won't break at the back, but you can move his arms. The only thing I notice is this little part there moves quite a bit. So again, I don't know if that's part of the figure because none of the other Figuarts that I've seen have done that. So it'll be interesting to see if Red's got that one. You can move his arms back into place and then therefore locks it to some degree. I'm guessing with the arms moving up and down, that's the one thing that you have to see. So let's move back on to the legs. So literally you have, if you're not familiar with Figuarts, they go all detailed into everything and they move his leg up and down, including his toes. So his toes can move up and down, but you've got the massive ball joints. Now because they're brand new, he is a little bit stiff, but after a while I'm guessing that his ball joints are going to move down. So again, you can see the fact that there is a very small articulation in the boot, just there. You can move him back. So if you want to put him on top of a rock, or you want him basically doing something like that, kneeling or on there, you can actually adjust his foot to whatever you want. So literally, we've had a look at the figure. The back of it, again, you have the ball joint there. So what you can do is you can really kneel him back that way. So if you want him to get him to a massive kick, bring his arm down like that, and then he can attack. But that does look quite cool because you do get the extra. It kind of smooths back in when you move it, and that's just on my figure, so I don't know if it's on yours. Have a feel and see what it is. But you move him up and down, you can move his legs like that. You have the gold trim all around the boot this time, so rather than the gold trim at the arms, you can move it. You have the wrinkles in the boots as well, which is quite cool. And again, you can move the ball joint around to whatever you want. So if you wanted to, you could have him flying. Whee! That's right. So, you know, oh yeah, son. Yeah. Okay. So you can literally move him around and have it like that. So, okay, let's have a look at his accessories. We're going to look at the Sword of Darkness first. So as you can see, this is the weapon that Rita gives him. I've never seen a Jew Ranger, so I can't, I don't know what it's called. I'll focus. So literally, the blade is curved, and you have the ridges there, and then you have a point. Now, it's quite sharp, so be careful. So you have the curve there, and if we bring this closer, you can see that you have the notches on the helmet. You can see the detail in the blade there. And again, when you get it, you can see, if I move my finger like that, the gem is actually see-through. It's quite sharp everywhere. I'm guessing that's just because of the blade. if you look at it all the way around, it looks absolutely amazing. Now the only fault I could actually have is this part here, this little red part. I would have preferred of having this as like feather, like string or something, but I'm guessing just in case people have it, it breaks off, you have that part there, so you have him wielding his sword like so you have that there. So that looks pretty cool like that. Sword of Darkness looks absolutely fantastic. So let's move on to the next. So this is pretty much what everyone remembers the Green Ranger having, the Dragon Dagger. So let's try and get a little bit closer. Get about there. Okay, the detail on this is absolutely phenomenal. There we go. You have on the end of the dagger, the golden part has got little ridges, so I can feel them there. Next to it you have gold pipe. I'm guessing it's like a pipe. You have the 3 buttons that actually push them, but unfortunately when you push them down, you're not able to call the Dragon Zord. One thing I like about this is that this part here, his flute part, is actually curved a bit, so it actually goes to the actual ranger's mouth. You have the dragon coin there, and you have the dragon coin there, and then you have the detail on all the piping there, including the little circly thing, the green part. Now on the toy it was a little bit rough, I think, or had a sticker of the rough part. This isn't in it. On the front you have a lot more detailing on the pipe organs or the metal parts to it. Then you also have the bladed tip, which is quite sharp, and again you have the thing that goes around the toy, which is quite cool. I really like the Dragon Dagger. It's one of my favourite weapons when I was a kid. Okay, so these are the parts that I'm guessing in the Mighty Morphing parts you're not going to be able to get them, because the Akiba Ranger parts were not in Sentai. Okay. So these are the parts. This is his new neck piece. And then again you have his actual belt. Again with the American flag. You have the coin and the morpher. Now, if you've not seen Akiba Ranger, then you will not understand it, but there will be a picture that will pop up. The very gist of it is when in the delusional world, where the Rangers can think of everything, what happens is basically these are the American Rangers, the powerful Rangers. So apparently you can take his head off. Oh no! The Green Ranger. So underneath the green helmet you have a little peg, so you should be able to take this off as well. Or is it? No, you can't put 2 on there. So you can take that off. There it is. If you can see it, there's a ball. So literally he has no head. So we put head back on. So he is American now. Ah, I'm American. My head will probably fall off. So when you think it looks secure, obviously you have it like that. And again with the belt, I think you can just, I don't want to break it. The belt's gone, so you can replace it with that one there, and place it top. See, one thing is I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to damage the shield, so I'm guessing that for a collector's point of view, there you go, he clicks in. Don't be too rough, because if it does break then, and you've been following this video, I'm not responsible for it. But there you go, the American Ranger. So you can tell by his neck by his belt, he is a powerful ranger. Ma ha 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 ha. So move him out of the way. Oh, and by the way, you can take the sheath off like that and add it on there. So let's test with the Dragon Dagger. Dragon Dagger fits nicely at the end, like that. And you can add it straight onto him there. Force it in a little bit, not too much pressure, or otherwise it may break. There you go, you have his flute. Oh no, it's not staying in. But yeah. No, it doesn't want to stay in that one. But yeah, you can put it in that way. So we'll put the sheath down. So we're going to look at his hands and then look at it. We've put them back together. I noticed that if you move this slightly, the under golden parts, you can't actually move them. So I think if you did want to take this off, if you had a spare Green Ranger shield, if you had a spare Green Ranger, you can just basically quick it off, and then these parts would come off straight away. So we're going to look at the hands now. Sword of Darkness back. Okay, if you're not familiar with all the figure arts, then what happens is you can add basically, I'll quickly explain. You get multiple hands like this one here. Yeah, you get multiple hands, so you can have them in different poses. I'm just going to do it with my hands. So you can have it pretty much any way you want. If you wanted him holding his Sword of Darkness, you have a hand like this. You know, you have the different poses. The standard ones that you get normally in any of the figure arts are them basically punching in fist-like form that you have here. Yeah. So in like a fist, but you can easily just pop them off. I normally put them back into the places where you get them. So always look at how I always look at this, how your hands are. So with that one there, we need one is like that. So you can either reference the hand, pop it on. Oop. So you can move it like that. So now, in theory, you could hold the Sword of Darkness like that, but I'm guessing that one is take Dragon Dagger. In there. So there you go. You have him ready to fight with this one. So yeah, the hands I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because you can easily play around with the figure. Now, literally, you can play with it, you can do what you want with it. The detail on the figure is amazing. I cannot wait for the American releases. I'm guessing they're going to be exactly the same. But I cannot wait for exactly what you get. I'm going to collect the rest of the Japanese ones over time. So the next one is going to be pink. Red, I know the next one is going to be red that I'll be looking at. Pink will be the next, and then it'll be literally the other colours of the rainbow, basically. So this is the Green Range figure arts. Literally, I reckon I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because the Green Ranger was my favourite when I was a kid. Even though I'm liking Red Rangers now, but I've been wanting a toy like this for a long time. The only time I could ever have got another figure is if I bought the Dragon Zord, but this is pretty much an amazing toy. For any collector for Power Rangers or Super Sentai, it's a must get. And yeah, So I love this figure, and that's all I can really say now, guys, and I shall see you next time.